Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Pretty nice day today. Well, today I'm gonna say you gotta keep going, man. That's all I can say. I was watching a 20-minute YouTube video about this 89-year-old runner last night. Guy's been running for 40 some years or something. Started in his 40s, which is when most people definitely stop doing things. This guy started it. He was a logger his whole life, cut trees his whole life. Still at 89, cuts trees. But the guy, he's been running. I don't know if he runs every day, but he runs about 30 races a year, he said. Still at 89. It's pretty awesome. One of them's a 50K. Hell, I don't even run 50Ks. I mean, I never even ran a marathon. I'm starting to think about, whether or not I want to, go in a different direction with it. Like, start running races or start running marathons or whatever. The doctor said I shouldn't run marathons right away, but I can go back to running my normal runs, which I haven't even been able to do. And I'm doing half speed and less. But that guy said, after all these years, you just have to keep going. That's the biggest takeaway that I got from it is he thinks that if he stops running, he's probably gonna die. Because that's who he is. And this guy he still cuts trees with a big handsaw. He doesn't use power tools. He's splitting wood with a maul axe. 89, takes care of a horse farm. He by himself, 89 years old, even in the winter. It's pretty wild to see. It really is. And things like that are inspirational to me. When something fucked up happens to you, you need to see inspiration from you need to get inspiration and motivation from other people to keep going. Just seeing someone who's almost 90 years old still doing it, still saying, hey, yeah, just keep going, man. That's the biggest thing. Even when you don't want to, even when you're afraid, just keep going. And that's awesome to hear other people talking about that stuff. It keeps me going. And I don't know what keeps you going. I don't know if these speeches help you keep going. I hope they do. And I've come a fucking really, really long way. I've gone through a lot of shit in the last 8 years. I'll be clean and sober for 8 years in January, but it's just been a hell of a ride, man. And life really is. So, in this last week, I've been questioning my entire life and existence and just, flooded with emotions, and, I'm just super grateful to be here. I really am. I have this sense of peace and calming about me. A lot of anxiety, but still, mentally feeling peaceful and definitely grateful. So with that, I'll say keep going, man, and keep being grateful for the fact that you get to wake up every day, because not everybody does. I'm just, again, super grateful to be here and to be speaking, and for all the support I have. That really also helped me get through this last week. So again, kick this day's ass. Let's go.